You're watching MMA Oddsbreaker. I'm Frank Trigg. Today we get to talk with the Wolverine, Mike Rio, who, just like me, has a couple little brothers that are always in his way. As traditional, we started talking before we actually started the interview, and his little brother kept walking in and out of the room, trying to bother him. Is it common to have your little brother always in your space?
Oh yeah, of course. I live here with my roommate, and pretty much he comes in here whenever he wants, sleeps in the bed. I'll come home from practice and he's knocked out, and he eats all my food, wears all my clothes and stuff like that. But it's my little brother. What can I do?
Your little brother's not your roommate?
No,
So why is he always at your place? Why isn't he at his place?
because he doesn't want to go home. He doesn't want to go home, and his school's down the street. So whenever he goes to school, he just comes over. I'm like literally across the street from the campus, so
Okay.
he just comes over here and knocks out in between classes.
Well, what's he working on for a degree?
What's it? I think it's some sort of a business degree,
Okay.
but he's half doing the business and half going to the gym every single day trying to get big like Arnold.
And then quarter of the time hanging out with trying to pick up girls and run at the bars. So yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
Typical college life. It's perfect. It works out nice.
a young guy life, man.
Yeah. He doesn't have responsibilities.
Not yet.
Unlike you, you've got practice twice a day. And
Practice twice a day, not counting the running, not counting the dieting, not counting everything else we have to do.
but your brother's kind of always in your space. So you come home in between practices and you gotta lay down and get some sleep. And he's in your bed. You wake him up and move him out of the way. You just get in and start cuddling with him and snuggle up to him a little bit and fall asleep with him.
No, I just fall asleep. He's the cuddler. I'll wake up with his arm across me. I'm like, dude, get off me.
That's how much younger is he than you, your brother?
He's about 10 years.
Oh,
He's
geez.
I'm 32. He's 23.
Okay, 9 years. That's a big
9
gap.
years.
Is
That's
there
a big gap.
is there another sibling in between, or is it just the way your parents worked it out?
Well, when my mom and my father were together. They had two, me and my older brother. Then they split. My mom had two younger brothers, which are 21 and 20, 21 and 19, or 19 and 18, something like that. And then my dad had a little sister, which is 25, little brother, which is 23, and another little brother, which is 18. That's at FSU right now.
Jeez, you have a huge family.
Yeah, I don't get much privacy.
Wow. Okay, now it all makes sense. Okay. So what is it like during train camp trying to deal with your family the entire time, but still making sure that you get your runs in, your lifts in, all your practices, plus your diet? It can't be easy hanging out with siblings that don't have the same diet restrictions.
They're actually pretty good with it. My family is either all athletes or have been involved in my sport through me my entire life. So they either don't let me miss practice, get me up, kick my ass, send me to practice, or make sure I eat the right things. So they're very supportive.
Well, hopefully it'll be a good support for you coming up here on UFC on Fox 10 on January 25th up there in Chicago, Illinois. You're getting ready to fight Daron Cruickshank. Who helps you break down? Does your family help you break down the tape on Daron, or is it you leave that strictly to yourself and to your official coaches?
One thing every fighter or any athlete, pretty much anybody that does anything, has to deal with is that people from the outside constantly have a opinion on what they think you should be doing. So I get it from all angles. Every fighter gets it from all angles. I mean, yeah, it gets kind of annoying when I have a guy who's like 90 pounds overweight, hasn't touched the gym since high school, and he's like 40 years old telling me what he thinks I should be doing. But, you got to take the bad with the good. My family knows that I'm very forward-driven, and I'm very, tunnel vision when it comes to getting closer to the fights. So they allow me to, do whatever you feel like needs to be done. I'm not at your practice every single day, so, I just want you to train hard. They don't really give me much tips besides, I want you to train hard, make sure you train hard. All the little tricks and little tweaks I have to do, that's done at practice by me and my coaches and my teammates.
Do you find it hard sometimes separating when you get home because your whole family's really involved in your career too, like separating, hey, I've left the gym, I've had a great day at practice, I've had a bad day at practice, and all of a sudden your brother, your sister, your mom, everyone's asking you questions about your day, and do you find it hard to kind of separate that, hey, I got to leave the gym sometimes at home and let me have a little bit of a break here, whether it's playing with your remote control helicopter or playing on your Xbox or whatever?
I mean, don't get me wrong. If I told you no, I don't have a problem with it, I'd be lying out of my ass right now. But yeah, I mean, every day is something new. Every day, you go to training, just like my job as a professional athlete, and I have to do what I have to do to get stuff done. And then you have people who aren't professional athletes. They went the whole business route. I work behind a desk, I work at McDonald's. I work as a Fortune 500 company owner. I'm a clothing designer, whatever they do. They want me to do what they want to do sometimes. Hey, let's go out sometime. Let's just a quick time to the club, or let's eat some McDonald's. I really want McDonald's, but like, dude, I can't. Like, it's just one drink. It's just one hamburger. It's just one time out. I mean, truthfully, I try to be as respectful as possible. It's like, I try to say no. I have to say no to people. But when you actually break it down, are those people going to be standing in the cage with me getting punched for me?
Right.
So I have to try to be respectful enough and not blow up in people's faces to the point where I'm just like, leave me alone. When truthfully, all I want to do is go to practice, come home, and enjoy my legs in the air like this, because I'm resting my legs for the next practice I have to kill them.
Right. Let's talk about your last 3 fights. You win by submission, you lose by submission, and you lose by submission. Is there a little added pressure coming from the powers that be that now you're on a 2-fight losing streak? If you lose to Cruickshank, that it could be the end of your run here at the UFC, or no one's even mentioned that at all coming up from the upstairs execs?
No, it's unspoken. I know it. Everybody knows it. Truthfully, the whole pressure about it, I don't care anymore. That was my pressure for last fight.
Got it.
I personally think that they like me to the point where they're giving me another shot. But, they could have cut me last fight. They could have cut me after the last performance. So I'm that pressure of in and out. If you win, you're in. If you're out, you're out. You know what I mean? I kind of like brush that off my shoulders. I'm not even thinking about that, because I'm looking at this fight as they're giving me a gift. They're giving me another chance.
And let's be honest. If they don't want to work with you any longer because of whatever reasoning, you could win and they could release you from your contract. So the pressure's the same for every fight. You have to be an entertainer, and you have to win. And and even then, it's still not 100% a guarantee. Because if you win a boring fight, why do I want to pay to watch you fight if you fight boring? I don't. Even if you win, I don't care. Like, I really don't want to see. I don't want to spend money as a fan that spends $69 every month, sometimes 3 times a month for pay-per-views, and getting Fox Sports 1 and buying the upgrade. I don't want to see a boring fight because I'm paying extra money for these things. So it's within their right, and I agree. As a former fighter, I want to disagree because the contract, is like, let me fight, let the guys fight, keep us all around. But the reality of it is, as a fan, I don't want to see boring fights either. And so I kind of agree with them when they get rid of guys. And when I was competing, it upset me that guys that had 2 or 3 or 4 losses were still in, and I wasn't. I was being cut because I was mad because I was being cut, not because they did anything wrong, because I wasn't good enough to be in. Now as a fan, I'm going, I want to see exciting fights. I don't care if you win, lose, or draw.
Yeah.
I want an exciting fight. Does that go into your mindset in your training camps going, even if I lose with excitement, I still have a shot of staying with the company?
Oh, of course. I mean, I fight for the UFC at the moment, at this time, but I'm also, yes, I am a fan. And when I see, okay, let me just go back on my last fight, the Gilbert Melendez Diego Sanchez fight. I don't care who won or lost that fight. That was a phenomenal fight. That was a fantastic fight. I don't care who won. I don't care who lost. I would watch that fight again just to see the action. So, if you go out there, there's a million fighters in the world. Everybody wants to be a part of the UFC, and there's always upcoming new guys coming in. So why would they pick you? Why would they keep you when they can bring in the new guy who's got dynamite in his hands, or bring in the new guy the Greco-Roman wrestler who throws people 5 times in a fight? It's super exciting, and I'm the guy who takes you down and just sits there and goes, I mean, it's all about a business. I mean, I want to be a fighter. I want to be the best. But, the UFC is the best organization in the world. They are a business, so they got to run a business and have the most entertaining fighters in the world.
And that's what they're doing. And I really see that that's the scope they're doing, the way they're going, the new guys are bringing in. A lot of guys are bringing in. I'm like, why did you bring that guy? And his record doesn't show it. He's in front of anybody tough. He's not undefeated. Why are you bringing this new guy into the organization? Oh, because he throws a guy 5 times every fight. Because he knocks guys unconscious by dropping them in the head. He's got a great left kick that puts everybody unconscious because their right ear touches their shoulder. I mean, that's how it goes. And say, oh, now I understand. It's because of you guys, because the fighters have actually educated me on it. Like, you got to understand, if we're not exciting, we're not staying. And you can be not very good, but be exciting and still be within the game plan. So let's talk about Daron Cruickshank. What kind of fighter is he? And do you think he's going to make an exciting fight for you?
Yes, he is. I know Cruickshank personally. Me and him are great friends. And, dude, Cruickshank is an exciting fighter. Everything he does is a highlight reel. High kicks, spinning back this, jumping this, flying off of this. If he can literally jump on the cage, do a spinning back kick, and land on top of me, he probably would do that if they allowed him to. He's a very high flash, high entertaining fighter. And I'm more of a take you down, try to beat you up type of fighter. So I personally think this fighter is either going to go crazy nutsoid nuts, or it's going to be a dirty street fight. So either way, both are very good, exciting fights.
Which way do you prefer, a dirty street fight or a super highlighting, exciting fight?
Of course, I'm not seasoned as Daron Cruickshank, or we call him Crunk Nuts. I'm not as seasoned as Crunk Nuts in the high flash area, so I got to do what I know best and turn it into a dirty street fight. If there was, he is my friend, but it's a job, it's a business, and if there's a curb in the cage, I got to make him bite it. If I want to win.
You're 9-3. He's 13-4. So obviously, he's a little bit more experience. He's fought some about this equal level of competition in the last couple of fights. So it's not like it's a big stretch. But what do you see him bringing in the cage that's different than everybody else? Is it just his high flash that you haven't had an experience for, or is there something else he brings in there that you haven't seen yet in any one of your other opponents?
So far from what I've seen, he brings it unorthodox. I hate the word swagger. I think it's retarded because all these little kids have butchered the word, but he brings this unorthodox swagger to him in the cage that you have no idea what he's going to throw. He's not traditional in any sense of the word. He's not going to go jab, jab, cross. He's going to go jab, jab, spinning hook with the spinning back kick, do a back flip, and then freaking front kick you in the face. So you don't, since you don't expect it, when you see it, you're like, oh, every single thing he does. And I personally love watching him fight. I think it's going to be either a head knockout kick or a spinning back heel head knockout kick. I always expecting that out of him. So I'm expecting him to throw the kitchen sink at me, and that's what I've been preparing for.
Is it tough to fight a friend?
You have no idea. Well, you might have to fight a friend. It's very tough to fight a friend, but here's the positive thing. Every friend you fight, it numbs you to the fact of fighting a friend. So, I fought at Diogo, who was a friend of mine, and it was like, that was my first, I have to fight a friend. And I was on top of him, and I could have thrown the punches, or I could have finished it and thrown the elbows and, did my thing where I don't care for his well-being. And I was kind of like, I'll throw a punch, instead of just cutting him open and stuff like that. But, that's what we have to go through. That's our job. That bit me in the ass back in the day, and Andy ended up beating me. And on the fight with Kofor, me and him were going at it crazy style, and then the third round, I see the armbar, and I put him in the armbar, and I have it, and I'm sitting there, and this is actually what's going through my mind. A lot of people don't realize you have a lot going through your mind in this situation. I had the armbar, and I'm sitting there, I was like, dude, just tap, dude. I don't want to do anything stupid. Just tap. And as a real competitor he is, I know he's not going to tap. He's not going to do it. So I just said F it and just wrenched till I made him tap. But I really didn't want to do that. You know what I mean? I really didn't want to do that.
And that's one of the things I always say about fighting friends. It's very difficult because you don't want to cut them. You don't want to break their arm. You don't want to tear them apart. You want to. It's going to make a much more difficult, close, competitive fight because that's just how it works.
Yeah.
So it's unfortunate, but it makes for a good storyline too because the way that both of you fight, it's going to make a good storyline, but it also makes a great high action fight. So I'm very interested to see it. I can't wait to watch you and Daron Cruickshank fight coming January 25th up there in Chicago on UFC on Fox. That's going to be a great fight. I appreciate Mike coming on here. I know you're starving, so I'll let you get out of here so you can get something to eat. I appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon, bud.
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me on.